Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series, the Strange Tales wave of Blackheart Build-A-Figure. Here we have the Weapon of Vengeance, or Hellverine Wolverine, who is possessed by, not Ghost Rider, but possessed by a demon, Bagra-ghul? I'd have to go back and double check that, because I'm probably saying that wrong. This figure is cool in theory, I guess. I thought it was like a mix-up of Ghost Rider and Wolverine, and not really. The story included Ghost Rider, but it's not a Ghost Rider Wolverine like I had initially thought. So I looked it up. It looked like it was from a couple of crossover issues between Wolverine and Ghost Rider in 2023. And then earlier this year, there was a single run of the Hellverine, which was not Logan. I believe it was his son, Akihiro. I'm probably not saying that correct either. But I'm also confused by the suit. So if this is the version from the single run this year, I think the suit is accurate. If it's supposed to be Logan, like the bio kind of reads, I think it's going to be more so this suit here. So I'm quite confused by this figure. I think the cover art actually, I think, shows this suit, but in the story, it's like this suit. It's just a couple of weird things that I don't quite fully understand. And hopefully, you guys that really fully read those comics, I went through the first two issues of Hellverine, just looking at the comic panels and stuff, and kind of doing a little bit of reading. But looked at the Wolverine and Ghost Rider Alpha and Omega, and then the Wolverine number 36 and Ghost Rider number 17, because I'm trying to have a better understanding of what's going on here, and I'm still a little confused because I didn't read it all, so kind of interesting. Anyway, looking at it, we get the Strange Tales logo, we get the artwork of Wolverine there, and that is from I think this was from the Wolverine Ghost Riders, either like. It may have been Wolverine number 36 or Ghost Rider 17. I can't remember. It was one of those for sure, that I saw the artwork there. And so the artwork shows kind of this suit, but not this suit. It's just this whole, like, confusing thing. But the bio form reads, while on a mission with Johnny Blaze to investigate a new Weapons Plus program, Wolverine becomes imbued with darkness as the Weapon of Vengeance. Speaking of the Weapons Plus program, the awesome thing is, the helmet that he has when he's Weapon X? Like, that was on flames in the story. Like, why couldn't we have gotten that head sculpt in addition to this head sculpt? This one's cool, but that one was really cool looking. We had the red line, like, visor of that helmet. Would have been awesome. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. There's no build-a-figure part for this, so if you're looking to build Blackheart, you do not need to pick up the Weapon of Vengeance. Wolverine can sell on his own. They don't need to have a build-a-figure piece in there. But let's go ahead and get him out, and let's take a look. And hopefully I won't be as confused while looking at the figure. Hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button now. Hopefully you've been enjoying the Strange Tales Build-A-Figure wave reviews that I've been putting out. If you like my Marvel Legends reviews, or you like any of my action figure reviews, even though they're mostly Marvel Legends, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Help me reach my goal of 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We're getting so close. I know we could do it. I appreciate all of your support. Hit that subscribe button now. Okay, so here is the Hellverine figure out of the package. In terms of accessories, literally all he comes with is an extra set of hands. We have fists, no regular claws popped at all. I don't think he needs regular claws popped at all. I think this makes sense with the fire claws that he's got on there. What I would have liked, again, was that alternate head that has the Weapons Plus helmet on there. That would have been pretty damn awesome to have. But anyway, let's go ahead and get in for a closer look. There's not a whole lot going on for the figure, but let's go ahead and zoom in so you can take a look at the head sculpt. The head sculpt is really cool. Okay, so here's an up-close look at the Weapon of Vengeance, the Hellverine figure. And again, I have some confusions on the suit and this and that and whatnot. One thing I know is the head sculpt looks really cool. It's done in the orange translucent plastic. As you can see, there's some like red-orange paint that's in there to kind of replicate the flames. Nice silver paint for the skull, and then white for the teeth there. As you can see, the silver is definitely painted on, so that is pretty cool how that looks. I like it a lot. Let me pop that back on there. And then one thing that they did is they have like some scuff marks in there. I have multiple. Like, I ended up getting my Big Bad Toy Store and my Amazon orders, so I checked both of them, and they are the same. As you can see, like the markings up at the top of the head, so looks really good. Paint-wise, it's applied nicely. I like it. No issues going on there. We have a pretty standard brown suit Wolverine, and then I think a couple of things. It's nice because people really wanted brown suit Wolverine. We have the Secret Wars coming up, and that one's pinless, so that's nice. But it's a red brown, like it's a very light brown. Here we have a nice dark brown. And the paint is much nicer than the previous one that we have gotten before. So the one I'm going to show you guys is a dark brown, even darker brown. This, I believe, is the Juggernaut Wave Wolverine. I do not have an open vintage card one. I think that was a lighter brown. But we have that here. Essentially the same exact figure. So the body mold is super duper old, like really old. But you can see the quality and paint has improved quite a bit. One thing I like that the suit came to a certain stopping point instead of just like, oh, we're just gonna paint the whole thing brown and it's gonna be there. I like that more. But the paint apps on here are better. Like the fuzzy lines are really bad. The yellow over the dark brown was not good. We needed another coat of the yellow. Much better job here. It's not perfect, as you can see, a couple of nicks and there's some brown like still showing through in there. But the line is so much cleaner than what we got previously. One criticism that I've seen, and this is fair, the yellow of the hips and the yellow of the legs don't match. This has always been a thing with the Wolverine figures. It sounds like people were like, didn't know this before. Hard plastic, softer plastic. Hasbro, for whatever reason, has a hard time matching the paint, the plastic color. There's no paint. It's the molded plastic in yellow. Hard plastic pieces such as torsos and the hips have almost always come out a different color to the legs. It sucks. I get it. We don't like it. Everyone's going to be like, oh, you're defending Hasbro. It's like, it's always been a thing. Like, this is not new. Well, I don't know expectations of it. Expectations should be that they're the same color. I get it that they're not. But they've never been the same color. Look at Fang. Like, it's not, it's always been bad. So it's not a new thing like people make it seem like. But again, it is bad. But looking at it, between the two, I like the new one better. The problem, if you're looking for a new like brown suit Wolverine, I'm sure this head will pop on there. I'll do that later in the video. But we're not going to have brown claw hands to match this brown. Like we have this brown, and that's dark brown. But so we don't have ones to match, and that's gonna kind of suck. There may be solutions. No, see, that brown isn't a match. Like it's gonna be tough. You know, if you're looking for a new brown suit Wolverine to kind of go along with it, you may not have hands that are gonna match. But anyway, that is the Hellverine. Just looking at it, not a whole lot going on there. So let's go ahead and now zoom out for his articulation. Okay, Hellverine, he can look up all the way. The head's starting to pop off when you start getting too high up, though, so I want to bring that back down. He can look down all the way. That is good. Full rotation in there. Not really any pivot going on with that head. The arm you can get to go straight on out like so. You get a full rotation in there. You have the butterfly joint, which can get the arm to go back nice and far, which is good. And then coming forward, you get some good crossbody in there. Decent amount, I would say, at least. You got the upper bicep swivel in there. Double jointed pinned elbow. Oh, they're so ugly, but it's skin tone color. The thing that I actually hate about these arms is we don't have arm hair. Wolverine's a hairy guy. Give us some arm hair. You always hear me talking about that on the Wolverine figures. Like, oh, boom, arm hair. It's painted on, but hey, it's arm hair. We didn't get anything on these ones. There. And the pins are super ugly on this guy because they're old. We have pinless arms. Why we're not using them? I don't know. Hasbro does weird things all the time. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge. Standard horizontal hinge on the Fireclaw hands as well as the fists. We have an ab crunch on Wolverine. He can crunch forward that much, which is a good amount. He can go back slightly there, which is good. Got a waist swivel in there. Legs go out that far apart. He can kick forward very high, which is good. The legs slightly back, if anything. Got upper thigh cut in there, double jointed pinned knee. Again, yellow on yellow, not the end of the world, but we do have new legs. Like, let's get the new legs. Why are we using the pinned ones still? But that much bend there at the knee. There is the boot swivel, unlike Astonishing X-Men, which didn't get boot swivel. We got boot swivel in there, so that's good. Foot hinges all the way down. You get some hinge up, not a whole lot. Ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So pretty good articulation. We just get an older body because of the pins. Pins, I wish would go away, but at least the colors match, and so it's not super ugly on here. But that's how he moves. But let's go ahead and do some swaps around. Okay, so I had mentioned, that I was very confused by the suit and kind of what was going on in the story. So one of the things that I'm going to do is, because I felt like this suit was a little bit more accurate to what I was looking at in those comic panels. So let's pop off some of these things and see how these things look. And one thing that's going to suck is the browns are not going to match for the gloves. But let's see if the head at least works, and it should, because that's the same torso, right? Like, why would it not? Of course it's going to work. So boom. So far, so good. Let's get these hands off. And these flame like things, these do not come off. They're like, that's part of the hand, or they're glued in there really good. Yeah, it's definitely, you're not going to get those off. That's not going to happen. So the browns are not going to match. That's a problem. Can you... Oh, I put that on the wrong hand. Browns are not going to match, so that sucks, but you can fudge it maybe at certain angles, or, alter some colors, or do some paint if need be. But yeah, that looks kind of cool. And again, that looks a little bit more to what I was looking at in the comic panels there. So we got that there. That's step one. Step two would be this new brown suit. Hey, if you like it, let's pop this head off the old one. And let's get that on there. And this could be a really nice, good, new brown suit Wolverine, except the browns of the hands are just not gonna match. Well, I guess I guess if you're wanting this for a standard brown suit Wolverine, you probably wouldn't have that Juggernaut one. Or you might and still want to upgrade. Oh, you know what? It doesn't look as bad as I initially thought. Yeah, it's darker, but you really got to have it in bright light to notice. So that's something that could work. But if you have this one, you probably don't want to do that. Or you just want a newer action figure itself, even though it's basically the same thing. We have different belts, sure. But that works there. Now, the reason why I have Fang is because the end of this year, so in December, there's going to be a Hellverine Volume 2, I believe, another single run there, and I don't think that's going to be Logan. I think that's going to be his son, Akihiro. So let's see if this works, because he actually is going to be using like the Fang suit, which I think this will end up being just too tall, right? And then the browns are going to be weird and not really work. But let's see if the hands will at least pop in, and then somebody can paint. And looks like we are a go there. So that could kind of work if that's something that you would want to do. But I think, again, he might be a little too tall. But yeah, I mean, it works. They pop on there just fine. Okay, so for side-by-side comparisons here, we have Johnny Blaze, Ghost Rider. So with the story, it was a little confused. You had Johnny Blaze in the black, and it almost had the kind of the Danny Ketch look with kind of the spikes on his knees and his shoulders. But then also in that first initial issues, we had Johnny Blaze in the blue. So there we go. But one other cool thing that we did get was Wolverine on a motorcycle. So let's check that out. Okay, so there we go. We have Wolverine on Johnny Blaze's Hell Cycle. Now, he can't grip the handlebar for one, which just kind of sucks. And Wolverine's kind of short, so he can barely fit barely reach the footrest there. But there are some images where you do have, him on there. We did get the Logan figure on the motorcycle. I'm not going to bring that out because I wanted to show, the flames of this, which makes a little bit more sense, as it kind of ties in. And he did ride, I think he rode Johnny Blaze's Hell Cycle. It looked like he did. And then again, different cover art and inside panels are always, they don't always match, so it's always a little confusing to me. But here we go. It works. It looks good. Okay, kind of darkening it up and getting some, some orange lighting going on in there. And this could be a whole lot of fun if that's something that you kind of wanted to piece together. Every now and then I get a little bit of inspiration to kind of try and do something. Not that it's perfect, not that it's fantastic, not that I'm saying I'm an amazing photographer. I'm an extreme amateur, and sometimes I think I can make something look semi-decent here, which I think I kind of pulled off. You guys let me know. One really cool thing that you could do with this is you could backlight the head sculpt, since it is the translucent plastic. So I don't know. I mean, if you could direct the light in a certain way, or you can hide the light somehow, you could do that. So that is also another option. Okay, so here is the Strange Tales wave, minus the Build-A-Figure, of course. A few of these characters got some tie-ins with Mephisto, like the Weapon of Vengeance, the Hellverine. Mephisto is a part of that story as well. Mephisto figure, are we going to get one? I feel like if we got these figures, Mephisto is likely coming eventually, but that's just a complete guess. I honestly have no idea. I don't know if there's any leak lists or anything, if he's including that, since I don't really look at those anymore. But you guys let me know. Do you think there is a Mephisto figure coming? I think there could be. The Strange Tales wave, I don't think is going to be for everybody, but there's definitely some fun ones in there. Lilith has some amazing paint apps. I'm really surprised by that. Dracula is actually more fun than I thought it would be. Bloodstorm is cool. She's a vampire. Brother Voodoo is a nice upgrade from the previous ones that we gotten, but still not necessary, I would say, if you have the other ones. Moon Knight is cool because he's pinless and it completes out your West Coast Avengers, so that's nice. Damon Hellstrom, the idea that was what was once a HasLab only figure ended up becoming a reality, which is cool. And then the Hellverine Weapon of Vengeance, slightly disappointed in it. Pinless would have been obviously the way to go. And then if we would have gotten that head sculpt with the Weapon X helmet on there that in flames, that would have been pretty damn amazing. But you guys let me know your thoughts down your thoughts on this wave down in the comments below, and specifically, what do you think of the Hellverine Weapon of Vengeance? And then again, my confusion on which suit is supposed to be which and who. Like, let me know your thoughts on that. You know, on what you think, if it's the right suit. But you know, cover art, I think this is the correct suit. But if you look at the panels, this is not the correct suit. I mean, you guys give me your thoughts on that down in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and as always, thank you for watching.